Hey folks, welcome to the Salty Seaman. I know I've already done a video on Top Gun. In fact, I reviewed the movie for Military Movie Bullshit, and I don't believe I talked about this. And if I did, it's worth mentioning on its own for those of you who haven't seen it. At any rate, the rumors going around right now is that Top Gun 2 is greenlit to be going to production. Tom Cruise will be returning as I guess, for his age, he should be returning as a instructor, maybe at the Top Gun Academy. But considering Tom Cruise still thinks wants to play guys in his 30s, even though he's in his 50s, who can tell? And no, not a hit on Tom. He looks fantastic for a guy who's like 56, I believe. So one of the things that kind of follows this little bit of news when I see it passed around is like, oh man, this is gonna be great for the Navy. Remember the first movie? Like the recruitments like went through the roof that year and the next year, blah blah blah. Like they had more pilots than they knew what to do with. And it's like, okay, that was just kind of accepted lore for as long as I can remember. Was what great things the movie Top Gun did for Navy recruiting, whether it was overall recruitment levels or specifically people signing up to be pilots. The word always was it was like, 50% higher, or some ridiculous number. Well, funny thing is, I used to work at the headquarters for Navy recruiting in wonderful Millington, Tennessee, in the PAO shop. And what do you know it? I actually got asked that one time by a journalist. I can't remember who he is. I just remember it was a dude who actually was doing some due diligence on something I think most journalists probably would have just written down as fact because everyone else reported it. But no, this guy actually wanted to know from, he wanted it quoted straight from Navy recruiting, or the Navy itself, and he ended up with us. Hey, did this actually happen? So this intrigued me because, not that I was going to blow the guy off anyway, but I definitely was very interested in getting this question solved for him. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm pretty interested myself, so I'll go look it up, and whatever I think, I'll run it by one of our stat monkeys, because recruiting has a bunch of stat monkeys, go figure. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. He said, thanks. Hung up. I went, pulled the numbers, looked at overall recruiting goals between the year the movie came out, the year after, and the year before. And overall, there was no significant increase. The numbers I get to look at also shows whether or not what goals were set for recruiting and if they made them. And for the most part, those 3 years the Navy met goal, but they didn't set any goals, anything noticeably higher than the year before the movie was in existence. So their goals for recruiting, for pilots, overall on all those little statistics, nothing was statistically jumped up at. That would reflect, hey, we need to capitalize on this. We need to capitalize on this movie because sometimes they might not need to. They might have been at their quota already, and they were just maintaining. That's generally what happens. They don't just invent new pilot slots just because the movie's popular and everyone wants to be a pilot. They have their numbers and their manning for reasons. And actually, during that time, there's no significant increase in any kind of recruitment, overall enlisted or pilot-wise. So I got to put that rumor to rest, or so I thought. Of course, it still goes around, just like Mr. Rogers was a Marine sniper / Navy SEAL, whatever they're talking about this week. I still see that one; it kills me. But that one, I keep seeing that popping up, and I'm just letting you guys know. Nope, it is not true. And in fact, if you were to poll most people who never served, what branch of service that movie was about, half of them would probably say Air Force. Not even remembering the Navy uniforms or the aircraft carrier. But yeah, because it's to do with planes, and a lot of people think that movie's about the Air Force. So even on a branding level, I don't think Top Gun did a lot for the Navy. But yeah, that's it. I thought I'd drop a little knowledge on y'all. I don't think that was in my other video. What I do know is the trophy for Top Gun does not exist. That is made up for the movie, which I did talk about in there. And the reason why is basically they know if you're putting an actual physical goal out there, pilots would kill themselves for it, like literally. So no trophy exists. Smart on the people's who run Top Gun, I'd say. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Will you be looking forward to the new Top Gun movie? If so, do you want to see what they do with Maverick? Were you a fan of the original? And have you seen my review of it, my military movie bullshit for Top Gun? It's about a year old at this point, but you could definitely go find it. I'll leave a link in the description for those who haven't. And that's all Salt Steaman's got for today. I'll get back with you guys sometime next week. Peace.